Consider two cities during a heat wave. In one city, the power goes out, traffic lights stop working, and air conditioners shut off. And yet in another, the power stays on, buildings stay cool, and hospitals continue running safely. Or consider two different rivers after a heavy rain. One river is brown and muddy, filled with runoff, and the other is clear, with plants along the banks. Or maybe consider two farm fields. One field has cracked, dry soil, the other has green crops growing in healthy soil. Why the difference? Well, remember that all communities depend on the same basic natural resources: air, water, soil, and energy. But as we just saw, communities don't all experience these resources in the same way. So we might think one city simply has more resources than the other. And while that can be true sometimes, an even more important idea is how these resources are planned and managed. The difference isn't always about how much exists, it's often about how those resources are used and organized over time. So, in this video, we'll explore how communities manage natural resources using three main strategies: conservation, efficiency, and technology. So, let's first start by asking the question, what exactly is natural resource management? Well, think of it as planning how resources like water and food and air and energy are used so they remain available over time, specifically to avoid overuse or wastage. But what causes this overuse or wastage? It's not because people are being careless. Instead, they often come from issues like aging infrastructure, or lack of planning, or limited access, or even systems that were not designed for growing population. And so, resource management is all about improving these systems and helping communities become more stable and resilient over time. Okay, so how do we do it? Well, let's start with the first strategy: conservation. Conservation means protecting natural resources and, using them carefully so that they are not damaged or wasted. One way communities practice conservation is by protecting natural areas. For example, wetlands near cities. They can absorb floodwater and filter pollution before it reaches the rivers. And when wetlands are preserved instead of paved over, they help protect both the ecosystem, as you can see here, and the people. Communities can also restore native plants along the riverbanks. The roots of these plants help hold the soil in place, reducing erosion during heavy rains and keeping rivers clean. But that's not all. Conservation can also include protecting groundwater sources by limiting development near drinking water supplies. So, the whole idea is that conservation reduces damage even before it becomes severe. It supports the ecosystem, it keeps the air and water clean, and it supports communities that rely on those ecosystems. And by the way, you might see conservation in your own community. For example, water restrictions during droughts help prevent reservoirs from running dry. And cities may limit watering lawns during extremely hot summers. Communities may also plant trees in the neighborhoods to improve air quality and reduce heat. All these actions may feel small, but over time, they protect important resources. All right, that brings us to the next strategy: efficiency. What's that? Well, imagine two buildings that stay equally cool during summer. One uses much more electricity, and the other uses far less electricity because it has better insulation and reflective roofing. So, look, the second building is more efficient. So, efficiency means meeting the needs like staying cool while using fewer natural resources like less electricity. Some other examples of efficiency include smart thermostats that automatically reduce energy use when buildings are empty. And there are leak detection systems in water pipes that find the leaks and fix them early. This prevents clean water from being wasted underground. And some cities install motion sensor streetlights that brighten when needed but dims when no one is nearby. Again, this reduces energy use while still keeping people safe. So look, less waste means fewer resources used, and fewer resources means less pollution and lower costs. That is efficiency. And by the way, efficiency applies to everyday systems. For example, think about recycling programs that collect materials separately. This allows communities to reuse materials instead of extracting new raw resources. So, efficiency does not eliminate resource use, it reduces unnecessary waste. That brings us to the third strategy, technology. When I say technology, think about tools and machines and systems that help us manage these natural resources more safely and effectively. For example, think about air quality sensors which measure pollution levels in cities. When pollution rises too high, health alerts can be issued. This helps protect vulnerable populations. Solar panels and wind turbines generate electricity without burning fossil fuels. And battery storage systems can store renewable energy for use when the sun isn't shining or when the wind isn't blowing. Similarly, desalination plants can turn seawater into fresh water during dry seasons. However, these systems require more careful planning and energy management. But also, think about smart electric grids that can automatically adjust power distribution during high demand, reducing the risk of blackouts even during heat waves. And satellite imaging can help communities monitor drought conditions and plan water use much more carefully. So, look, technology helps communities respond to challenges. But remember, technology works best when combined with conservation and efficiency. It supports planning. It's not a quick fix. So, to summarize, natural resource management is all about careful planning of how air, water, soil, and energy are used so that they remain available over time. And, we do not damage or overuse them. And communities manage these natural resources using three main strategies. We have conservation, which involves protecting resources and using them carefully so they are not harmed or wasted. Then we have efficiency, where we meet the same needs while using fewer resources. And finally, we have technology, which involves using tools and systems to manage resources more safely and effectively. Together, these strategies help communities reduce problems gradually and build a healthier, more resilient future for both the people and the environment.